What? Okay. This okay. Let me introduce this real quick. This is Choose Your Weapon by Hiatus Kaiyote. Released in 2015. 18 songs, hour 9 minutes. What the fuck is this album? I don't understand it. Like it kind of goes hard, but I struggle to know what it means. Like it, I don't want to say it's obtuse, but if you told me that this album came out not in 2015 but in like 2049, I would believe you. It is, I want to say, ahead of its time, but like so much so that even though it really, like, the music is good, I don't I don't understand it. I had to listen, like, in the last week. I've listened to this album like 6, maybe 7 times, like 5, 6, 7 times, and I only really started to get it on like the sixth listen, which is not what I expected from this album. Like, I can't tell if this album is just like a whole bunch of nothing, or like there are so many different layers that you have to really dig in and sink your teeth into it in order to understand what the hell is going on. It, like, are the lyrics just a bunch of garbled nonsense, or are they all metaphors for something? Like, does it mean anything? Why are, like, why are the time signatures just suggestions? Like, why does like, it's such a strange experience of an album because everything, like, at certain points in some songs, everything is the same and everything matches together, and, like, just creates this sense of, like it creates a sense of, I guess, power in some instances where everything is just the exact same, like from the drums to the bass to the keys to the synths to the vocals, everything is doing the same thing, and it doesn't really allow you to relax. Like, it just has this air and this energy about it where you really kind of it really makes you work for it. This album just makes you fight to understand what's going on, to get the music, to enjoy it, and like, at some points it's kind of hard to win that battle. Like, I won't lie, there are definitely some points on this album where it starts to lose me, and then it just pulls me right back in. Like, I think it's this is an interesting instance of an album, like, just because of how the brain works with, like, you're more likely to remember the beginning and the end of things. uh it's interesting when an album is more memorable in the middle, and that's this album. Like, Borderline with My Atoms is pretty memorable. Breathing Underwater, whew, Swamp Thing is like, it just, Swamp Thing just slaps you on the face. Like, you just get hit with that. Like, Jekyll is probably one, like, my favorite song on this album, and like, it has about 4 different movements, and none of them are like the last, but they all end kind of how the song began. Atari and By Fire really hit, and then by the end it just kind of like peters out, I guess. Like, let the, you know, I'm not the numbers. I don't really agree with all of the number of plays that some of these songs have, but it's just so different. It feel like, again, like, it feels like they're doing this shit on purpose, where, like, it's kind of like the mindset of, like, Nirvana, where, like, rather than having a million fans, they would rather have one fan who really gets it. The best way I can really describe it is like bizarro Pink Floyd. Like, it's like, if these two bands existed at the same time, Pink Floyd and Hiatus Kaiyote would have been best friends, and they would have worked together until a single event and that would split them apart. And even though they have a lot of the same like inspirations and they draw from a lot of the same material, they are and they have some similarities. They are not the same. They are very different and conduct their music in totally different ways. And if that sounds interesting to you, then definitely check this out because it's not a bad album. It's just confusing to me. It's hard to really know anything about it. Like, I don't even know what fucking genre it is. I've been told that it's neo soul. I've never heard of a genre called neo soul before. Is this acid jazz? Is this like is it funk? Is it soul? Is it neo acid soul funk jazz rock EDM? I don't get it. I don't know. I just don't know with this album. It's like even after listening to it almost 10 times, it just escapes me. Like and not even in the way that like I forget about it. Some of these songs have been stuck in my head for days. Jekyll is playing in my head right now. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I think because of that, Choose Your Weapon is going to be the first ever question mark out of 7, just because I really don't know what the hell to rate this album. Like, if I did give it a number rating, then I would probably have to change it and make a new video on this album every time I listen to it. Because every time I listen, there is something that I get. There's something that changes. Like, I like this song more than the others. Or like, you know, I listened to the album, and at first, like, Swamp Thing was my favorite. But then I listened again, and Breathing Underwater was my favorite. And then it was By Fire, and now it's Jekyll. And you see what I mean. This is just so hard to pin down that I can't give it anything in confidence other than a question mark. First album to get a question mark, not gonna be the last. I can guarantee you. But definitely give this album a listen if you are interested in experimental music, or if you like any of the stuff that if any of this sounds interesting to you, give this a check, because it is not a bad album. Let me get that straight. I think that's gonna do it for the review. Thanks for watching. I know I didn't really say a whole lot in this video, but this album has just been stuck on my mind. Definitely, you know, yeah. If you want to see more like this, leave a like, comment below what you think of this album, or if you have any album recommendations that you want me to review or listen to or anything like that. And because I am at the complete whim of the algorithm, every comment, every like helps. Even if you don't do that, thank you for watching. I really appreciate every single one of y'all that goes out of your way to watch all of these videos. It really means a lot to me. And that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.